Hello, welcome back. I have another sketchbook tour. I do go through sketchbooks kind of a lot. I go through them quickly, but I also work on a few at the same time, so I tend to kind of finish them all at the same time. So yeah, I wanted to walk you through this one. This is the Stillman and Byrne Zeta series. And actually, I did like this one. It is a hardbound. You can get them softbound. It has, let's see, 270 GSM. This is about 8.5 by 5.5. And yeah, I thought this was nice. It laid really flat, and I do wish it were 100% cotton, but that's okay. That's just my wish for all my sketchbooks. So anyway, I started this June 25th and I finished it July 19th. So just under a month. I used this in a variety of ways. I used it for plein air sessions, drawing sessions. I did a little oil painting prep in here. Sometimes before an oil paint, like before I want to paint something in oils, I might do like a really kind of casual attempt at it in a sketchbook, just to kind of wrap my head around what it is. It's more than like when I do a thumbnail, like I really kind of want to paint it and really get the details. But I didn't do that a whole bunch in here. Mostly I ended up using this for drawing sessions. So this very first one, Don't Love. This is a boat scene. I'm trying to get into painting more boats. I've actually improved significantly since this. I've done this scene like several times. I struggled here because I did this with some Karatake watercolors, and I didn't like how the watercolors were sitting on the surface of this paper. So I did that for this page. I did it also for this page, and I didn't like it. It made the experience kind of weird. It was like really sitting on top and not soaking into the paper, which, I mean, sometimes that's a good thing, but I just felt it was a little too much here, and it made it weird for me for the rest of it, and I don't like how either of these first two pages turned out. Well, this one is an oil painting prep. This was probably like my second time just quickly kind of attempting this scene. I'll show you how it turned out. So to give you an example, I start with something here, and then in the end it might look more like this. So I'm actually kind of working on a little boat series of a trip that I have some photos from. So this is one of them, and I really like how it turned out. So yeah, sometimes it starts here. Sometimes I do it just once. Sometimes I do it a whole bunch of times. This one I did a whole bunch of times. This is another prep for another oil painting series. I've gone into like even more prep detail in a different sketchbook. I decided I wasn't going to use this sketchbook for these series that I'm working on. So okay, so then I started using this sketchbook for some drawing sessions. If you don't know what a drawing session is, a lot of artists on YouTube will have, outside of YouTube, like a Patreon or something. Sometimes it's a Substack, but I'm mostly on Patreon. And they will host a session, usually on Zoom, where they provide a bunch of references, and they're usually timed pretty quickly. So the idea is, like, let's say it's an hour and a half total. The idea is that we might go through, like, I don't know, several reference photos. It depends on who it is. Sometimes it's just a couple. Sometimes it could be as many as like 10 or more. And the idea is that we work in a timed and quick way, and you're not really supposed to overthink things. And I wouldn't say that I walk away from most of these with like extremely amazing work, but I really, really love doing them. And I belong to several people: Emma Carlisle, April from Monkey Mintaka, and Ohn Mar Win, and some other people. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. Sarah Dyer is one of them also. And it's a good chat. It's a good like conversation with people. And anyway, that is the long-winded explanation if you didn't know. So this was one that I think I came back to a few days later because I kind of didn't like how I did it. But it was like landscapes, and we sort of picked our own adventure. So we kind of got to draw a little bit more what we like, different things. People were kind of drawing different things depending on the adventure that they were making. They're not always structured like that. That just happens to be what this one was. So yeah, these were all very quick, very loose, very sketchy. I want to say I used acrylic paint markers for these, and then went over top with like neocolors and maybe some colored pencils. Maybe this looks like Tombow markers too, so maybe I did some markers before, like as an underpainting. This next drawing session is again with April from Monkey Mintaka, and she has a dog. His name is Rubix. He's really cute, and we did a drawing session of just a bunch of references from him when he was a little baby puppy. So, I mean, he still is a puppy, but yeah, this one was 6 minutes. So you can see it's like, it's not a lot of time, but I absolutely love this series. I love how this one turned out, especially this spread. He's so cute. I like his little tongue. Here's another one where he was just kind of looking in different directions and sitting in a certain way. And I love how all of these turned out. This one cracks me up. He's half up, half down on the stairs. My dog used to do that. Little sleeping belly, curled up in someone's arms. And then the last one, he was like outside and he had his little foot in the air. For the dog, I don't remember if I said this, but it was the acrylic brush marker underneath. I used 2, actually. Okay, so I used these 2 acrylic markers. What are they really called? They're called, yeah, acrylic markers. These 2 are by Liquitex. I have other ones, but I really enjoyed using these to make like a light side and a shadow side, and then I just got like a basic shape down, and then when it dried, which is like almost immediately, I went over top with some neocolors and colored pencils and kind of put in that like kind of brushy fur texture. So this one is with Emma Carlisle, and it's, I think I did some markers first and then like colored pencils, maybe neocolors over top. Yeah, this was really quick, 5 minutes. The theme was landscapes, I think, so we were doing maybe landscapes from a particular place. I can't really remember. I think this was the first time I was able to actually join one live. Up to this point, I had just been watching replays because I was recently subscribed, so I hadn't had a chance to like join a live one yet or something. So yeah, I was a bit nervous when I was doing this because I knew I was going to present this at the end. You don't have to do that. I like to do it even if I don't really like what I've done. I think it's always good to present work. But anyway, yeah, these are actually okay. I think in the moment I was like, oh, this isn't really great, but it's fine. Yeah, 5 minutes. These were just warm-ups. Tombow marker, scribbling over top of that. Did a little cow scene with some hills, and then we ended on this one. So those last 2 were 20 minutes, so it really just depends on kind of what we are doing that day. The times are not usually the same every time. So yeah, another boat scene. This I just did because I had an extra page. I've recently become obsessed with this dog, Ernie, from the Instagram account Aged Sausages. He cracks me up. He's so funny. He's just an old man sausage dog, and he's a hoot. This was plein air session. I just brought my my pencil roll with me, I think, on this day, and this was my husband's hometown. He grew up along the Mississippi River, So so we were there visiting family, and we just had some time. So I was sitting with him on a bench by the river, did some sketches, did this, did the Centennial Bridge, just really quick stuff. The day after that, we went to the Botanic Garden, or the Botanical Center, I think it's called, and I loved it. I had an absolute blast. I'm going to actually do I don't know when this video is coming out. Either it's already out and I will link it, or it's coming out, but these were things, this scene I did there, and this was like the indoor area with like the tropical plants, and they had this big waterfall feature. So I kind of sat in front of it and I did a quick sketch. This one was of the cactus green room, and I absolutely love how this turned out. I did this over top of a prepped page, so you can kind of see it poking through in some areas. I did this one at home, but I still, I love it. And this was the koi pond in the Botanic Garden Center as well, and I did this while sitting next to it, so this was on location. It's fine. I don't mind how this turned out. I think it started out a little bit better, and I don't know, maybe I overworked it or something, but it's fine. Okay. This is back to a drawing session. I think it was landscapes again. Here's another mountain scene. I didn't put the times here, but I don't think it was very long. Some boats. Oh, I think this was a day I was kind of struggling. I was struggling with some of these references. I don't know. I try to do one of these most every day. I haven't in the last day or two, but I had a really good streak of like doing at least one drawing session, if not multiple drawing sessions every day. Not always like this, not always like with full color. Sometimes it was just a single sketch of like a single line drawing with a colored pencil or something. Sometimes it was like this where I introduced more color. But anyway, I remember this day I think I was really struggling with some of these references and just like in general, maybe wasn't in the mood to draw, but I was making myself do it anyway. This was a town scene. I forget where it was. Oh, you know what? This whole one was Madeira. That's right. The theme of this was Madeira. So these were all references from there. Cute little house, boat, and finally this scene of a house on top of a big sand dune. And then later I did the Emma Carlisle London Drawing Group workshop where we drew foxes. This wasn't the very first thing we started with. I'll show you. So we started with warm-ups. This whole page was 8 minutes, so like about a minute per fox, just to get our fingies warmed up, and I love how these turned out. And then we worked on like introducing the color and different color palettes. So I had like a few variations and some color palette work that I did in that other sketchbook. I kind of just did it on a different, I didn't want to do it in here. So here were some other color palettes that I used. And these, and again, I just really liked this kind of sketchy texture that I was getting. And then lastly, the drawing session that I filmed. And yeah, this was only 10 minutes. It's okay. I have drawn this scene, I think, once before, and I liked it better then, but that's okay. Sometimes I feel like when I'm filming, things don't turn out as well as when I'm not filming. It's fine. Anyway, that is my sketchbook tour. I hope you liked it. I tried to kind of beef it up by showing you first how I did the very last page. Let me know if you liked that. I don't know if I can always promise to do something like that, but maybe sometimes. I like doing a sketchbook tour. I love watching other people's sketchbook tours. I hope you enjoyed, and if you liked this, feel free to subscribe so I can show you more of my art, painting videos, both chill and more finished work. I definitely want to have some videos about the 2 different series that I'm working on and how I, how I create a series. So if that sounds interesting to you, feel free to stick around, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.